Hello everyone and welcome back to Move Daily Fitness. It's Tracy Steen, and this workout today we're doing a beginner compound strength workout. So compound strength, we're gonna do a lot of multi-muscle, multi-joint exercises. All right, sometimes we'll do two actions in one. So we might hit the lower body whilst hitting the upper body. If you can't do both at the same time, you can opt for one or the other. The format within this will be 40 seconds of work, 15 seconds in between, and we'll repeat each circuit through twice. All right, so you're gonna require a variety of dumbbells for the workout today, and here are the ones that I have used. As always, lift within your own abilities. These are the weight amounts I might suggest a beginner use. All right, we'll start with a warm-up, we'll end with a cool down. Hey, we have our holiday hustle challenge to move daily coming up very shortly, so be sure to check it out. All the activities happen in our Move Daily Hustle Facebook group. It's free for everyone. You can click or tap the card at the top of the screen to check that out. We also have workout schedules for the month. We've got free workouts. We've got a lot going on. So please check in the description below as well, and you'll see everything that we have for this month coming up. All right, let's hit this workout. Let's move daily. Okay, maybe some functional strength on the watch. Let's just start with a little warm up. We'll increase our heart rates here a bit, get the blood flowing. And yes, like I said, if we do something like a squat press, but all you can do is the press part, reach up and over, then you can stick with, like I said, one or the other. But if you have it in you and you can hit both, let's do both. The weight amounts, of course, are gonna be a little bit lighter. Reach across right here. Just to accommodate any beginners. And 2 rounds gives you one opportunity to lift a bit heavier as you move through the sets, but not super fatiguing. All right, very good. Let's do some arm circles here. Tap it out if you can. Switch direction. And heel dig here, draw the elbows back. High knees. And butt kick with a punch. Very good. Let's hold onto a wall. You're gonna hinge forward slightly. Foot is flexed and glute kick back here to warm up the glutes. And switch legs. Very good, and now we'll add a front kick. If you can't kick high, kick low right here. And torso turn right here, pivot on your foot. Very nice. Okay, grab something to sit on to start. We're gonna start very first exercise with a sit squat press. As I said, you can just do the press if you wish, or join me for both, and here we go. All right, I'm gonna start with lighter weights. You can do 2s, 3s, 5s, somewhere in that range. And we'll start with a sit squat press. So we're standing, pressing, and then sitting all the way back down. Here we go, up and push. Reach your hips back. Try not to plop down, you're gently sitting down there. Now, you could also do a single side press, one at a time. Is not quite as strenuous as both at the same time. So pick what works for you and keep the flow going. Let's go into our bent over row hammer curl, and I'm gonna hold 8s for this. It's gonna be whatever you can curl. So we'll hinge forward at the hips, back is flat, hit the row, then stand and curl. Here we go. And we row, full stand, curl right here. Elbows are close to the body. Pull, stand and pull, that's it. Okay, let's go into our iso hold march. I'll stick with that 8-pound dumbbell. Core is engaged. You could also hold it right here. We're gonna march with a narrow base of support, working on balance a little bit. Here we go, so you're tall and tall. Just keep that hand overhead. Again, if that feels too strenuous on the shoulder, here is fine. All right, I'll call half and we'll switch sides, so stay with me here. 3, 2, and switching arms, up and march. Of course, you can widen your base of support if you need as well, or hold a heavier weight to make this more challenging. All right, round 2. Excellent. Back to our sit squat. I'm gonna stick with 3s, hands up on the shoulders, or 5s rather, sorry. Here we go. And we press. Reach the hips back. You're controlling the down, you're not plopping on your chair or bench. Good functional exercise right here as well. Activity of daily living. Okay, let's go into our row curl combo. I'll stick with the 8s. Hinging at the hips. It's a full row, stand and curl. And we pull, stand, hammer curl here. Good. Think of squeezing your shoulder blades together on that row part. So pull and retract, stand and row. All right, racking one of those. I'll stick with the 8 pounds for my iso hold march. I'll call half and we'll switch. Again, here is fine, or overhead hold, whatever you prefer. Engage the core, and we march with a narrow base of support. That's it. Try not to shrug this shoulder, okay? Keep it away from the ear. One more. Switching sides, up, engage, and march. Into your second circuit, we're gonna start with a plie bicep serve. You could just hit the bicep serve if you don't wanna hit this plie squat. I'll do both with a squat and plie at the top. Shoulders back. So we plie and press. Good. Low and press. Remember, you're placing that weight out in front of you. You're not throwing it out. It's a gentle pressing out and then back in. So you're not relying on momentum to throw it out there. You're just placing it. All right, roll the shoulders back. We're gonna move to shoulders now. One to the front, one to the side, a front lateral combo here. I'll stick with 3s, nice and light, shoulders back, and lift. You're here, and switch. So keep your torso facing me. Now remember, in round 1, you can test your weight amounts. Round 2, if you can go a little heavier, lift the next weight amount up. Okay, setting those down, we're gonna stick with shoulders here. High pull into W, so maybe 5 pounds. It's gonna be whatever you can W there, but we'll hit that high pull and then right into that letter W. Here we go, so working front shoulder, back shoulder, up and back, good. So think of squeezing your shoulder blades together here. Try nice and wide on that W. Definitely feel that in my back shoulders with a pause. All right, let's hit that all one more time. Back to our plie bicep serve, and I'm gonna stick with my 3s. Nice and wide, knees over the toes. So we plie, up, serve, good, low, and again, you can just do the serve if you don't want to hit the squat. And into that front lateral combo. I think I'll go up to 5s, one in the front, one behind. So choose whatever weights you can do. This will add up for sure. Roll the shoulders low and back, soften the knees, engage the core, and up. That's it. Push. Keep the torso facing me, nice and stable. No twisting here. All right, shake that out. One more with the high pull to W. All right, and then we'll take a water break. So, shoulders low and back, engage the core again, and high pull here to start. Up and W, wide. Hit that pause, remember. So you're thinking of squeezing those shoulder blades together. Really thinking of that back shoulder right there. Control the down and up. Very nice. Okay, water break, everyone. This next set, we're gonna take it down to the ground for the first set. So make sure you check out the screen, grab your weights, and join me down on the ground. Making our way down to the ground, I've got my 8s and 12s. We'll start with the heavier weight. Chest press, glute bridge. Chest press, bridge. Over the chest, we're gonna lift the hips up at the same time, holding 12s, and we push and down. So you're gonna bring those elbows down toward the ground, but don't bounce them off the ground, okay? Just kind of hover. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Of course, you can leave the lower body out if you wish, and just hit the press. Nice, let's set those down. I'm grabbing my 8s into my chest fly press. So we're gonna rounded arms. We'll open in the chest. Then we'll bring the dumbbells together and bring it down toward the chest. So up for the fly, rounded arms, and then bring it down toward the chest. Up, open, together, and down. Up, open, nice and slow, together, down. That's it. Stay over your chest. All right, and into our tricep extension. We're gonna do it up in glute bridge. So you're gonna hold this bridge, palms face each other, wrists are locked in neutral. We're bending back at the elbow and pressing to the ceiling. Hips up and your back and up. Squeezing the glutes, working triceps at the same time. Slow and controlled on that tricep extension. Nice and slow and press. Okay, nice. Set those down, back to the top. And we're going back to the chest press, glute bridge. I'll hold these 12s. Feet are close to the bottom, pressing over the chest. And here we go, all the way up and down. Good. Good, okay, into that chest fly press. I'm choosing the 8s, I'll stick with that. Go lighter if you need. This is with rounded arms, so it does take a lot of our pectoral minor right near the bra area. All right, so we open, together and down. Press and open. Really control these movement patterns. You don't have to go quick, slow and controlled. Good. Stay over your chest, not your face. It's easy to migrate up. Don't do it. All right, and finishing off this circuit with that glute bridge iso hold and the tricep extension. I'm sticking with the 8s. Palms face each other, make sure the wrists are locked and neutral, and back at the elbow. Here we go, and you're back, and press. Good. We're gonna move right into our next circuit. Stay down on the ground. Okay, we don't need any weights right now. We're going into a bicycle. So opposite elbow taps to knee or to the outside of that knee if you can. Here we go, and we tap. Doing well, 10 more seconds. Then we're gonna stand. All right, come to standing. We're gonna go into our suitcase squat curl. If you don't want to hit that suitcase squat, simply do a bicep curl at the top. I've got 8s, shoulders back. Here we go, we'll squat, stand, and then palms face the ceiling for the curl. Squat, stand, and curl. All right, good. Moving into our side lunge raise. You can go lighter, maybe a 5-pound dumbbell. Actually, I think I'll do. If you don't want to lunge, just hit the raise right here. Otherwise, we're gonna come to the side and right there. All right, nice low little lunge. Pop the weight up to the side. I'll call halfway and we'll switch sides. Last one on this leg. All right, take a step, switch hands, and side lunge, and lift. Reach your hip back. Good. If a lunge is new to you, don't go down that far, just a little ways. Maybe even just a side step, all right? All right, back to the top. Let's go back down to the ground for that bicycle. You can keep your legs off the ground as well to make it more challenging. I think I'll do that this round. And work your here and here, slow and controlled. If you want to try a few with the legs off the ground, try a few. You can always revert back to the modification if you need. Ten seconds. Let's make our way to standing. Back to that suitcase squat curl. I'm jumping up to 10 pounds here. Like we're picking up some suitcases. Roll the shoulders back, feet shoulder width apart. Drop it low. You're here. Stand, curl. This is a very good functional activity. We could be picking up groceries, suitcases, lifting them up to put in the overhead bin. right? Put the groceries away in the cupboard or lift a grocery bag to the trunk. So this is why we practice activities like this or exercises like this, so we can do all of those activities of daily living. Reach your hips back on that squat. Very good. Okay, setting those down and finishing off this circuit with that side lunge lateral raise. I'll stick with the 5. I'll call half. We'll switch, core engaged, reach and up. Back is flat on that lunge. Take a step, switch hands and lunge this way. Reach and pop. Very good. All right, grab a drink. Take a look at the screen. We're coming back to standing, so grab your weights that you need and join me back. Starting off with our static lunge raise. You could just do that lateral raise right here if you wish without the lunge. Otherwise, nice static lunge, wider base of support. I'll call half. Here we go. Drop it low and lift. Good. Low and lift. Oftentimes when the back foot is directly behind the front foot, we can feel a bit more tippy, so you can widen that base of support a little bit to prevent you from tipping. All right, switch legs, arms stay the same, and drop here and all right, we're gonna do a row kick back. So up and down. It's gonna be whatever you can kick back. I think I'll grab 5s, but maybe 2s, 3s, or 5s here. Row kick back. Here we go. Pull it up, kick, in and down. You're hinged forward right at the hips. Up, out, in and down. All right, going into our sumo wide press, 3-pound dumbbells. Put them on your shoulders, nice wide stance. You'll drop into a sumo squat, and then we'll press into that letter Y. Shoulders back, drop it here, up, press, good. Wide can target a little bit more of that side shoulder as well as the front shoulder here. Last here, back to the top. I think I will go up to my 5s here. Static lunge, lateral raise. I'll call half, we'll switch legs. Shoulders back. All right, drop and lift here. Last here, switch legs and drop, low, up, lift, nice. Going into that row kick out. So we're lifting up, kicking back and diagonal, in and down. I'm gonna stick with these 5 pounds. You can lighten to 2s or 3s. Hinge here and work, pull it up, kick it back, in, down, up, back, in, down. That's it. Working some lower back here, triceps, of course. Holding ourselves up is working that back in and of itself. And up. Last exercise, let's go into that sumo squat, super wide. Up on the shoulders, I'm holding 5s. We're dropping low, pressing wide. Last exercise, make it count, folks. Here we go. Drop it low and wide right there. You're doing well. Halfway, last 20 seconds. Stay with me. In 3, 2, 1, and done. And you have moved daily in your compound strength workout. Nice work, folks. Thanks for joining. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the workout and stay for a stretch if you can. Nice work, everyone. Let's make our way down to the ground. Nice little stretch here. Let's start lying on our backs, and you're gonna hug one knee and let the other leg fall straight. Just draw that ankle towards you, stretching the inner thighs here a bit, and your glute, of course. Okay, good work, everyone. I hope you had a good little workout. Of course, you could always do 3 sets of that or lift heavier, switch legs in order to make that more challenging for yourself. So keep that in mind throughout the holiday season if you want to come back and revisit this one, if you felt like it was too easy for you. If it was too challenging, you could do 1 set. Lighten the weights, right? Always ways to modify. Let's take both legs, let them gently fall to one side, and I want you to keep your shoulders on the ground and look the opposite direction here. Oh, good stretch. So yes, holiday season is upon us, and what I would just ask of you is that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Do you know what that means? It's a euphemism, metaphor. Switch sides here. It means do not throw out all your good habits through this month. It could be easy to do because your busy self might take over, your family-oriented self might take over, but you don't want to neglect your own self, right? She has to stay on the list because if you don't, you're going to come into January feeling more sluggish and regretful, especially if you've been working on your habits recently and then you let them go. You don't want to do that. Come to seated. Nice tall leg or tall body, straight leg, and stretch for the hamstring. Yeah, you have to, well, I guess you don't have to, but I would implore you to think about what you want your future self to look like. That's such a great exercise to right now, maybe right after this workout, take a moment, envision her. What does she look like? How does she feel? What does she have around her? What is she able to do? Where is she going? What kind of confidence does she bring, right? Like all of that is really important because then when you can see that picture of yourself, you do the things today that your future self will thank you for, right? Because she has showed up for herself. Let's come into that butterfly stretch here. It is really easy to just one day go, I don't feel like doing this. Like, did I feel like doing this today? No. But I know what my future self, I know what she is going to look like and what I want her to look like. And so if I always gave myself an out when I didn't feel like it, I'd be giving myself a lot of outs. So it's not like I feel like it every day for sure. But the more I do it, the stronger I feel, the more confident I feel, the more energy I feel. And that helps paint the picture of what future self could look like. Let's sit cross-legged, reach across the body here, just stretching in the back and glutes. Anyway, I love that exercise. I think it's really important. Switch sides, reach, because when we can see that future version of ourselves, and then also maybe even let your mind go to a place that says, if I do nothing, what would happen? If I didn't exercise, if I didn't pay attention to my food, round through the back here, what could I look like then? And you sort of want to let that version of yourself almost scare you as much as it entices you that better version of yourself. So it's kind of like a push-pull. And I find that really helpful for me. Stretch behind, arms back. Thinking, like, if I do nothing, what's going to happen? How am I going to feel? What am I not going to be able to do and participate in? And I don't want that life. So I make that choice every day and just say, I'm showing up for myself today. Even if no one around me is doing it, I'm doing it because I know what I want to look and feel like and the energy that I want to have, right? So draw the arm across. Anyway, let that inspire you today, that throughout the month, even if time is busy, doing something is better than doing nothing. Bring the other arm across and commit to shorter workouts. Commit to, more walks. Commit to working intensely when you do show up, right? I think those things are really important. Anyway, join that Holiday Hustle Challenge to move daily. I'm gonna link our Holiday Hustle group here. In the description below are our calendars that you can follow. They're only $10 for the month. We've got beginner and advanced. So check those out, download it, move daily this holiday season, and we'll see you all in the next workout.